Hello, welcome to the Paddockers League night. This is round 3, June 24th, 2026. Qualifying here, currently starting in kart 5. Pretty warm day, I believe. It was like 80 something degrees, pushing 90, so pretty warm out here. Just trying to hope to set a good qualifying time. Start pretty high. I did miss round 1, so I don't really think I'm in contention for a championship. Round 2 I did make, and I'll kind of compare the results a bit later. Unfortunately, the camera wouldn't clip onto my helmet right, and I didn't want to risk damaging it because I was borrowing it, so didn't get to record that. But here I am, I have the proper equipment this time, and I'm just kind of starting qualifying here, hoping to do well. Yeah, so you'll kind of see he goes for the inside move there. It's qualifying, he's trying to get ahead, and he goes too far, bumps a tire into the grass, and loses quite a bit of time. Hopefully I don't make that mistake later. Two in a row is kind of crazy. What I do kind of learn off rip here is kart 5. Turning's not bad. Brakes feel decent, but the straight line speed is just not there. I'm not really able to get any good speed on the straightaway, no matter how good my exit is. And you'll kind of see it a bit more how I end up getting bumped, drafted, because I'm not able to go fast enough. So yeah, that was kind of the big news of this car. The weekend before this league night, which was Tuesday, they had the Father's Day race, so it was an hour interval, I think, hour or two, and there was a bunch of teams, so a bunch of carts got used, so I'm going to assume that a lot of the carts are a big gamble today due to this wear and tear from that race. You'll kind of see there, I would say not the greatest, but a better exit than the guy in front of me. He kind of had a counter steer at the end, and I'm barely able to overtake him going down the straightaway, which in any other car should have just been a clear, easy overtake. And if it wasn't for the fact it's qualifying, he probably would have been able to defend that in an actual race. Yeah, kind of a good example there. Just the straight line speed. Didn't get a terrible exit, but the straight line speed's not there. So I'm kind of realizing that the qualifying time is not going to be the greatest at this point. So I'm using this lap to kind of experiment, push some limits. Like for example, there I'm getting closer to the curb. I was used to let go and run it wide a little bit to avoid the unsteadiness. And then I'm just, even for that corner too, just gassing it through, aiming for the curb. So just using it to experiment some lines, and hopefully learn a thing or two that can help me in the heat race. qualifying was pretty boring. Not a lot happened, so I kind of skipped to the end of it where there was a small battle, which I know you're not really supposed to be battling during qualifying, but at this point it was near the end, and I know it's going to get to happen, so I figured, might as well just see what I could do here. And the fact that I was able to catch up to Duke in front of me made me think that he wasn't going too much faster either, but, it is what it is. Just had a bit of fun here at the end. I'm not gonna. No, I had no idea what I was saying there. I was kind of just out of it, just kind of talking to myself, trying to bit of motivation. But that right there, I believe, is the end of qualifying, and I placed P15 out of 22 with a 50.449. So I couldn't even break it to the sub 50, unfortunately, which I have done, I think, every other race so far. Just wasn't driving that well, unfortunately, but. Is what it is. Just gotta make up for it in the heat race, trying to get top 8. I am starting close to the back half than the front, but it's not over till it's over, so I'm just going into the heat race hoping to get some good overtakes and hopefully place in the top 8 for the final, so I'm in a better position. So I do kind of notice off rip here that this car seems to be just slightly better than the one I had in qualifying. I'm assuming just off the noise that the engine's stronger, but turning and brake wise it feels pretty similar, so I'm feeling a bit more confident going into it here. Now unfortunately the guy in front of me, very nice old dude, his car did the best impression of a BMW. Yeah, he's unfortunately out just off it. They didn't stop the race, so had to kind of catch up to the pack, and then the green flag's out and we're racing. Now, it kind of survived the kind of major spots of the first lap there. But what you will see is that there's a big inconsistency of what I believe my position was and what Speed Hive says it is, which is the software that tracks you. Speed Hive did make sense, but when I was kind of calculating it didn't, so you'll kind of see both here. Well, I thought I was, and what Speed Hive said I was. Like, for example, they're on P8 somehow, I believe that was P10, but I'm not sure. Speed Hive did make sense in some cases, mine made sense in others, so I kind of mixed both in. So that part was on me, a bit of a far dive up the inside there. I didn't want to fully lock up and slam into him, because that would just cause even more damage, so I kind of gave him a little bit of a tap, but he ended up, I believe, moving on the wrong position there, keeping it, and I ended up losing one myself, so I feel like I should have just played it a bit more. So, 2 positions, dang. Yeah, Speed Hive says 10th somehow, I don't believe it, but this is a good example of why not to lock your brakes.
Hey bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
So I'm beginning to catch back up to the battle ahead of me. And this is a side note, if you see me messing with my helmets, because it's slightly too big for me. So I kind of just try to use the straps to adjust it, but I do kind of make a mistake here. I pull in one person in front of me. There's a window on the left side or middle there. I just kind of don't take it. It would have been a bit of a dive bomb, but I kind of learned to realize that I should just be a bit more aggressive when I drive, because previously in the 2 rookie races I did, me not being aggressive, which that just led to my loss. Even in qualifying, which compared to the one before, forgot to mention I got P13 last time, so P15 this time, bit of a downgrade. But even here, I'm trying to be aggressive in the wrong places. Like I know the straight is my strong suit, and I'm just not using it. You know, I do believe at this point I just take the opportunity when I'm finally given it, but the middle pack behind me started to catch up, so, and I end up going wide. But I do get into the corner again, go for a late break-in, bit of curve. He has the inside for the next turn, so I have to give that up. And now at this point, the pack behind us, I believe, is caught up, so I realize I spent a lot of time battling, and even there, just going for moves that aren't going to work out, or just aren't practical for our race, so I just need to be a bit more aggressive where it matters. Yeah, at this point he's fully wheel with me, so I'm realizing I just need to get ahead of this dude as soon as I can, no more wasting time, and then I almost immediately jackknife the cart into the wall, but he does the same thing, goes wide. I see the opportunity, I take it inside, and just no more risk. Yeah, right there's the end of the race, kind of be on full defensive mode there. Somehow I'm P7 in the corner of this beehive. I don't believe it myself, but you know, it is what I started with, this is what I started the final in, so I miscalculated at some point myself, but yeah, starting P7, feeling good, had to get into the top 8, getting a lot better than I was hoping for at the heat race, but kind of learned that I need to be a bit more aggressive and not make too many more mistakes, so hoping to take those skills and apply it to the final. But feeling good going into the final race here.
We're trying to sabotage you.
I think somebody had a snack break.
I can't believe I let you by. I left the gap open.
So here we are, the main event. What really matters, the final main race. I don't know if the dude behind me, when he was saying that, I kept looking at you back, he was talking to me, because he looked behind him, but the guy who's looking to behind him, he clearly could have let by him. He's not what it mattered because he's ahead of him, but that's not even the point. Yeah, we're getting the final here. I did get very lucky. I heard talk about kind of the good and bad carts, and I heard a lot of good stuff about cart 28, and luckily going to the final here, I am in, wait, 28 or 26, I'm blanking. Might have been 20, I think it's 28. It pulled off a 48 something. I believe a 48.2 qualifying, so stronger car. I could just tell by the sound of the engine that it sounds super duper healthy. Turning and braking turning felt good. Braking felt a bit soft. Had to put a lot of pedal pressure, but outside of that, the car I could tell is gonna be great on the straightaway. So off-road, I'm just kind of picking up strategy, and that I plan to just use the straightaway, play it safe around the turns and track, because the brakes are good enough, but you don't want to risk it for no reason. And then just overtake on the straightaway, because the final is 14 laps. You'll see why it's 13 here in a second. And then just pick people off on the straightaway, play it safe until the big straightaway again, and just keep going. But yeah, that was kind of the plan. So here we are. We're supposed to start. I'm getting ready, and then last time someone had a problem, but it kept going. And this time I see him, but I don't see him, kind of dive off into the pit there, and we go around again because someone had a problem, so a little bit of a false start. So yeah, coming up into the race here, I'm still thinking the same thing, just kind of be a straight line merchant, pick off everyone one by one and try to get into the podium. That's been the goal for a while, just to get a podium, so I'm hopeful going in here. Coming up on the last corner here, getting ready. But you know, they say everyone has a plan until they get hit, so just seeing how long I can stick to that. And actual start time, he's about to dive left into the little runoff area there, and then it's actually racing time. So immediately my race is almost ended, almost get pushed into the grass. Luckily I got back on, small bump to the first corner there, and I survived, you know. We made it past the first corner, so happy about that, and then just trying to run a bit of a clean race to the first lap here. So off rip here, I could already see the engine strength. Didn't get as good as the exit as him. He almost accidentally pushes me off again, but I immediately catch up when I really shouldn't have. So I could tell off rip that this car's gonna have some good straightaway power. Try to go for a bit of a switchback. I'm not quite sure what to do when you're side to side in the last corner there, because I don't want to run the outside and risk just flying into the dirt. But I also don't want to do a early switchback and pit him, so I'll work on that. But yeah, off the straight, you can tell I'm just picking him off. So as of now, the plan is just to kind of keep that going, that train going, and just wait into some straightaway sections and just take them off one by one. This part was kind of crazy, kind of pushed him off. He almost pushed me off earlier too. I'm assuming he wasn't looking. I think he's in the pro class, but who knows. And then right there is where I almost just destroyed my race. I let, what, 3 people by. That's what I was saying. I really shouldn't have gone up the outside. And that's the risk. And my tires are just not getting grip with that first corner because of dirt. And then I go for an inside run, stop myself again. Bit of a tap, but it ends up costing me more than him. I lose another spot and 2 there. Just being too aggressive, and from here, like, the race is falling apart at this point. You know, I started P7 and P11 only on lap 4, but well, P12, P13 actually. Yeah, I do get that spot back, but the whole race just crumples when I hit that curve. Yeah, so I'm just trying to, I'm in panic mode at this point. Just trying to push hard, be aggressive, and just claw my way back up. So at this point, I'm kind of really pushing it, just trying to make as many spots as possible. And here was a mix of just aggression and...
I got this!
Yes, unfortunately, I ended up getting in an accident.
What damage do you have? Talent.
Yeah, and was right. Just absolutely binned it. I was going for a bit of a dive, and then I didn't want to knock up and slam him like the dude earlier did. And then a mix of that just made Greg get a bump behind me, kind of shoved me straight into him. So it was unfortunate, but I did get away cleaner than he did, I believe. I think he's still behind me at this point, just a bit further. And somehow I'm P8, I believe, according to Speed Hive, which it makes sense for the math, but I don't know how it's possible.
So it's hammer time.
So yeah, it definitely is. As you said, it is hammer time. Just gotta try to get as many good maps as I can at this point, because time is running out. We only have 13 laps because we lost one. So 6-second gap in front of me, and the goal is just to close that, and then hopefully catch up the rest of the pack. So yeah, just gotta put out some power maps here. pushing really hard here, trying to catch him, and I closed the gap majorly, and I pulled over staffing from this weekend and just almost completely crashed the car. But yeah, luckily I was able to keep it. I didn't lose too much time. Just like that, and in a few laps I was able to close that gap down from 6 seconds to like less than 0.1 at this point. So I'm realizing I have the pace, and that I just need to be smart on my overtakes to catch up to the pack, but I also do realize that time's running out. I don't really count the laps in my head, but I'm realizing it's been a while, and I'm surprised that I don't see a checkered flag, so I'm just hoping for like 1 or 2 more laps here just to get something done. But yeah, just kinda, it's a race against the clock. Yeah, my excitement's pretty valid because after almost crashing out in the first half of the race, I caught back up to the top pack, and it's a great race from here, so I'm just gonna let the video play out.
Who's gonna win? At the stripe, it's Hussle!
And just like that, I brought home P3 at the end, but there were penalties, and after those, I ended up getting P2, the guy in front of me, second place. He got a penalty, a few seconds for an incident on the second to last lap. You kind of go back and look at the very last corner, second to last lap. But yeah, I'm just extremely happy. I've never fought up at a podium. The first league race I did was last year, first ever literal race in the go-kart, or just in any form of actual racing. Got P4, really disappointed, kind of messed up myself. Second time, I didn't even upload the final footage, I was so mad. I got P6 after starting in P3 or 2, just had a kart problem when I turned left. Last race I got P4 again, but at that point I was used to it. And then somehow, I was able to bring home P3 and with some penalties P2, so major improvement, finally got a trophy I've always wanted, so I'll throw up an image of it here, and yeah, thank you just to everyone that watched. shout out to Sidecar and their employees because they kind of taught me what I know there. I was able to apply it to here. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching and have a great day.